All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back, guys. New week, Python workshop series. Last week we saw for loops. This week we're looking at lists, and it'd be pretty much similar to the for loops that we did last week, because we're going to be using all loops to work with lists. And then at the end of one couple of lists, I'll do a quick announcement on the Zookeeper project, the first project that we're going to have. Different kind of. So we'll begin. All right, so in programming, there's a concept called data structures. What they are basically is just constructs that every programming language has built in to have a practical use with real-life data. So, let's say accounting, we have accounting for a bank. I'm sorry, a bank that they have accounts to, manage, sort, keep track of. Data structure is a really good way to keep all that data into one sort of container. With Python, we'll only look at one of Python. Python has an extensive library of data structures built in on its own that comes with Python 2.10 version. We'll only look at lists. Lists are going to be part of our first project next week for Zookeeper. And I believe, I'll explain this in the next slide. All right, so lists are basically arrays. I know if you're taking Java or C++, arrays are data structure or array lists, vector, same thing. Basically, it keeps data in sequential places in memory in the computer. So if you can imagine just some memory allocation in the computer, it'll create some list, some sequential places of memory, and it keeps data inside. So if you want to make a list of integers, 1, 2, 4, you don't have to be a specific order. This would be more or less what a list would look like. And you can either access them, you can move them around, you can do lots of things with these. Every data structure is different in their implementation and what you can do with the items inside that data structure. For Python, what's cool about lists in Python, since they're basically an array-based structure, they're dynamic, meaning that once they're created at that point in the code, you can change it. They're not static. The length of it can change. You can add items, take away, replace, write over the data. So you can write this, make it 3 instead. You can do a lot of it. So at any point, you can always change the structure and the amount of items on this. And compared to other array-based data structures in programming languages, lists can actually also store any type of object or multiple kind of in the same one. So you can have one list that stores ints, strings, floats, even Boolean. Whereas most other data structures, they're limited to only one type. So only an array full of integers or strings. So in Python, to create a list, it's pretty much as simple as just creating any other variable. You just make a name for it and set it equal to brackets. So if you just put it instead of brackets, that is technically still a list, just a list with 0 items. If you print it, it'll just print out the brackets with nothing inside. Or you can make a predefined list right after that, right when you're declaring it, and put whatever kind of data you want. So an empty list is good for a list that you don't know what's going to be inside of, that you'll further later on modify, because lists are dynamic in that way. And like we saw last week, we can use a for loop to iterate through a list to go through each item in case you want to modify it, take it out, print it, remove it. Yeah, for loop will be better for that. A while loop can still work because you can use the bracket modifier to look inside an item. So you have my list, the bracket, and then for some x being the index of the list. So since lists are sequential, we'll have an index to what in what order the items are sorted. And so in computer science, we always start labeling indexes with 0. So I know this is 0, but This could be anything else. This is index 0 and then 1, 2, 3. So for some lists, 5, 6, you'll have indexes 0 to 5. So with the while loop, you can go iterate through a list the same way, just so you have to use access it through. So lists on their own have functions that can modify the items inside. You've got append, which will add an item to the end of the list. So if I want to append or my list. And then in parentheses, you put whatever item in there. So you have a list of ints with 8. So it'll create a new memory allocation with 8 inside. That's what append does. Insert does the same thing, except insert takes in a index location. So if you don't want to add it to the middle of the list, you can add it to whichever index you want, and it'll automatically shift all the other items after it. To the right one space. Remove does what you think. It removes item. I believe at a specific index. So you can remove first, middle, or last, and in between. Pop will remove and show you the last item of the list. And then clear will just clear all the items in it to make it fit so it can be corrected. So any of those functions, and there's more. Let's have more inherent functions with one, but they're just a couple of the ones that I think most people use just to modify the basic list. There are more specific functions to that. And then, of course, accessing items. I've already mentioned one, using for loop and using an index. Yeah, that's so like for example, my list, and then just you can set a variable not equal to my list at the two index. So it wouldn't be 2, it would be 3 because it starts 0, 1, 2. And then I know last week I also mentioned 2D array or lists. You can have any dimension type of lists. 2D is probably just the most common that you might see. But basically, it's just a list within the list. You can have sublists inside. You don't have to do the same size. Like this one's just an easy example to see. It's one list with 3 sublists inside, so with 3 ints inside of each one. But each list can be size 4, 5, 7. It doesn't have to be just the same size. I don't think we'll be handling with multi-dimensional lists just because it might get crazy with the for loops and nested loops. This is just something for you guys to know and just to be aware of. That's pretty much it. A short lesson. Are there any questions? Lists? Before I give out the practice for this week, next week we're going to start our first project, the Zookeeper project. I know you mentioned that it was going to be through JetBrains Academy, so you guys have to go out and make your own account, free trial, but it's only a week. So, and we have another project from that same website that we're going to do, and that one's more exciting. So if you guys do want to make an account, I would hold off until that project. So next week I'll be providing the files for you guys to do the project. You still have to be here for attendance. Just for the majority of the time. After that, you can go if you want to work on it at home. But just heads up, next week we'll just work on a project. There'll be no new material, and it's just to finish that up. And I believe the following week we'll start with a new topic and then keep going with projects. I think that was it. Good to go.